Let's see if it's actually going everywhere. Yo, StreamYard is so dope. I can't get over how dope StreamYard is. Like it'll publish to everywhere without having to do anything. It's crazy. How we doing, everybody? I see there's already a couple of people coming in, checking in. Someone let me know if y'all can hear me. We good with volumes, everything like that. Happy Sunday, or it might be Monday for some of y'all. Yeah, I put a poll on my YouTube on the community section, and y'all really liked the last like random live stream that we did. We were hanging out with like Rishab, and then we were just talking about like random stuff. So I'll do one again. Today we got a couple friends joining. No set topic, no set experience level, none of that. Just random chat. Yeah, so let me know how you're doing. I see a lot of your comments coming in. That's awesome. I hope my there's not too much lag. Oh, we got Rishab. Hello.
Hey Gwen, how are
Hey.
you today?
So we got like 20 people in here already, like watching.
Awesome.
Oh, you got a different hat today?
Yeah.
I love it. I think we can do like, yeah, I like that view better than the like.
Yeah, that is better.
This, that, yeah, that's a little too vulnerable there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Al said he was gonna join. I have a friend Anna who's she's a dev advocate at AWS. She said she wanted to hop in and join too, so we'll see. Again, anyone in the chat who wants to join, if I'm DM me on Twitter, I'll send you a link. The only rule is you have to be respectful. But besides that, yeah. How you doing, Rishabh?
I'm doing good. Pretty relaxing weekend. So
Yeah. Did you do any side projects, anything?
not really. I did study for the Azure AI fundamentals that I have planned for this month.
All on Anna's here. Hello, can you hear us?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey. I don't
So
know.
nice.
My head is cut off or something.
So nice to meet you finally.
Yeah. You
Anna,
too.
Rishabh, Anna.
How's it going?
Is it
Good. How are you?
Anna or Anna?
In Portuguese, it's Ana.
Anna.
But
Yeah,
I don't mind if you say Anna or whatever.
okay. Yeah, because in Ecuador, or we say Anna as well.
Okay.
But I know
cool.
like here they say Anna, so
Yeah.
I prefer to ask. But Anna, you work at AWS. You're a dev advocate.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for, well, sort of like Twitter, knowing each other kind of for like a couple of months. I can't remember when was like the first time we ever like had some sort of exchange, but I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, it's kind of crazy how many people we know just because of the internet, just because of social media.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, but we were just talking about studying and side projects because in tech you always have to have something going on when you're not working. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Rishabh?
Yeah, just that. Yeah, I had some time to study for the AI fundamentals for Azure, and then for the rest of the weekend, I was just resting and relaxing.
Really?
Yep.
That must be nice. What did I do this weekend? I don't think I did anything yesterday. Do you have this? Do any of you have this? It's like when you don't do anything, you feel really bad. Like, you get like your chores done maybe, but if you don't like work on like a side project, or you don't study, you feel like you're a failure.
Not failure, I would say, but I do feel like I go on a guilt trip where I'm like, I should have done at least something productive. I don't know. What about you, Anna?
Yeah, I do feel guilty, but I know I shouldn't.
Mhm.
Like if you just take the weekend off to relax, or I don't know, just play video games, like not
Yeah.
think about stuff. Yeah.
Oh, we
Then
all
on Monday you're like, yeah, I should have done more.
we all play video games. I think. Rishabh, I saw you playing today, Rocket League.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw you
I
on
did
PSN.
get some hours into Rocket League yesterday too.
Is that all you play now?
I'm addicted, I think.
Yeah, I know. But
I
like for
try
a
it.
while now.
Yeah, for a while. I think it's been 2 years since I've started it, and I just cannot get past it. I do know that I often start my Saturdays with playing Spider-Man because I have to finish it and get
one?
the first one. I've not finished the first one. I've had it for a year now. But then I switch over to Rocket League, and then it's like I'm already 2-3 hours in.
Yeah, those kind of games where you can just turn on and you don't necessarily care about progress are the best. Like I have that with FIFA and
Yeah.
Need for Speed, and I don't have to worry about like pressure or like advancing. I can just. It's kind of like watching The Office. I don't know if y'all like The Office, but like if I just need to like not think and I can just put that on and not worry about it. Oh, Alpha's here.
Hello.
Alf.
My bad.
Alf,
My camera
Anna,
was
Anna.
not working. Hello.
Oh,
how's it going?
I call you Alf, but I don't know if you actually like being called that.
Oh yeah, no. I like it's among my. I have like a number of like names, and Alf has been one that I always enjoyed. People do call me, but basically no one does call me like that.
Well, I call you Alf. Alf is a wait. What do you do exactly? I know you do a lot. Data engineer, data analyst. Oh, he lost his mic.
I am a data analyst right now. I'm a data analyst and kind of more solution. Like I really work with solutions in data. So I turn like the data that my company has into actionable like software or tools that other parts of the company can use. And most of it is related to data.
Cool. We were just talking about what were we talking about? Oh, side projects. What happened with that thing you were building with Amplify?
I mentioned like I had like life happened primarily, so I had a ton of things happening over time, and like it's still there. Like I feel like I will work on it eventually, but for the time being, I have a number of other things that I have like trying to prioritize over that.
Okay. Well, that's like that because that project you started back with James, I think, like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And then you paused it, and then you're doing it again. Now you're pausing it.
No, it's a mess. I'm honestly pretty sad about the situation because I wish I had like I wish I could like structure time around that project. Unfortunately, it's always like, oh man, like now at work I'm using these. I better actually get to learn better how to use this specific thing, and so I spend time doing that, and then sometimes another thing happens and I have to spend time there. But yeah, unfortunately that's the sad reality with like side projects, unless you actually structure your time very well, and I'm not overly good at that, I guess.
There's like two approaches to stuff that I do on my free time. It's like, well, actually just one. It's like whatever I'm doing at work, for some reason I want to become way better at it. And then I'll like do it at work, and I'll also do it on the side. I don't know if y'all do that too. Someone says, "Love you guys. Good job. Thank you." Do you love all of us? The hustle culture has been too ingrained in us.
I agree. I feel like it's like it feels like if you don't like produce, you're not worthy or something. Like the thing is that a lot of the things I feel like I am productive, but in a way that is not like there is much to show for it, because it's like I don't have a blog post that is ready for that, because I don't like write a blog post while I'm learning something. Like right now I'm going through like Kubernetes and similar. I'm writing notes for myself, but I'm not writing them like with intention specifically of like writing a blog post, and so it feels like, oh man, like do I feel compelled to having to show something, but it's not really necessary to do that.
That what you just said is like exactly what I'm going through now, because if I don't write or make a video on whatever I'm learning, I feel like it's a waste of time, which is I don't know. It's not good. I don't think it's a good I guess attitude to have, because you can learn without having to like, tweet about it or
Yeah.
Yeah,
share about it.
I feel like the thing is this, like I feel like I do want to share because I feel like there might be other people in the same like stage where they're learning the same thing I'm learning. Maybe I went through something that I found a little hard to do, and actually having like if I can explain it in a certain way, it makes it easier for people to learn it.
Mhm.
And but then that like automatic mentality of, hey, I'm trying to help other people, like, and then when I can't like
Help.
put
Mhm.
anything out, it feels like I'm failing it. But in at the same time, I'm actually like helping myself, because then I'm actually able to work on a bunch of other things. Like I'm able to, like now I'm able to start understanding what, for example, at my work, like the Kubernetes structure, how it's working, like reading through the code and similar, and understanding it is not like something I just can showcase outside, because like private codes and similar, but it's still something that for me it's better because I increased my own level of knowledge.
Open Container. Have you used it? Has anyone used Open Container?
I
I
have
haven't.
not.
Oh my goodness. I don't.
Nope.
I think I know. I'm gonna Google it real quick. I think I know what it is, but I don't think I've ever used it.
Aren't there like so many alternatives to like straight Kubernetes anyways? Like I think I know what is open container. Like I find it that like when I look for open container, the first thing that comes out is like open container laws in Pennsylvania and
I got to say, I got
like
DUI
alcohol.
lawyer. Open.
Yeah, isn't like open container like the actual like Linux Foundation thing behind the logic of like let's make the containers work like kind of seamlessly between, and it doesn't matter if you use Docker or you use like Containerd or others, but like the underlying structure of the container is the same. Like it's an initiative more than like a tool itself.
Is it? Is it?
Like unless there is something else that is called open container,
Is
I think that might be the case.
is it like something to do with OpenShift?
No, OpenShift is another thing. Like OpenShift is like a containerization software. Like it's kind like I'm not like I unfortunately I'm not like deep enough in the knowledge of like other tools outside. Like I know no Kubernetes to begin with. Like I'm learning, so I don't know other things as much about OpenShift. I think it's like one other like 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 another service. I think it's like basically a managed Kubernetes service from Red Hat.
Opencontainers.org. Let's go there. Is open governance structure for the express purpose of creating open industry standards around container formats. And okay, so I guess it's something similar to what you mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, because you can see guys like Docker is there, Easy Stack is there, Red Hat is there,
Facebook,
VMware is
Goldman
there,
Sachs.
Goldman Sachs is there.
Did anyone get Dogecoin?
No.
No. Rishabh,
Yeah.
did you get Dogecoin? Oh gosh. What about any NFTs? Anyone purchase any of those?
I don't. I
No.
am not that much into the crypto stuff at all. Like I feel like I have this friend of mine who bugs me every time, every possible time with like crypto stuff, and literally when you read a conversation, it literally looks like you are a fully entirely drunk person that is just like the auto suggested word, like you start with crypto and then you go from there, and that's a whole phrase and then it sends it to you, but like it's not drunk, and it's like, oh my god, I really don't understand what you're saying, stop.
Yeah, that whole like I was listening to a podcast where they were saying like NFTs are selling for like $8 million, $10 million. I don't understand it. I don't, maybe I just can't see the value in it or whatever, but I generally don't. Maybe it's the technology behind it that's worth it, but the actual like digital art part of it, I don't. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like there is like a lot. The logic is like the fact that you can actually own a piece of like art or anything really, because people are selling tweets, and it's like the alternative store of assets, like
That
the
sentence right
alternative.
there. People are selling tweets. That
Yeah,
sentence.
no, like the what's the name of it? The
The
Jack
CEO,
Dorsey.
the
Yeah,
CEO of
Jack
Twitter.
Dorsey
Yeah.
sold his first Twitter. Like his first tweet, he sold it and he made a bunch of money. And I feel like it's a store of value. It's like saying I'm gonna buy art, and but instead of art, it's just like a digital signature that's certified that this like is owned by you. But then at the point is like, it's not that like other people can just reuse it. It's just that it stores the value. But I honestly don't understand. I'm not knowledgeable enough about it, and I just don't see the hype behind the whole thing. So like I see the hype as in people are getting like mad money, but I don't see the like I don't see myself getting into it with everything that is going on right now with for myself. Like it's not the right time for me.
I don't know. It's like it's just a contrast. And if you think of like where the world is at in general, and then you have people paying $6 million for tweets and stuff like that. It like irks me to my bone. Anyway, oh, did Alf, you joined a little later, but Anna works at AWS, and I think that's very interesting. I personally don't have much experience with like any AWS stuff, but yeah, how'd you get there?
Yeah, I don't know. Uh,
Just by luck.
yeah, I know. That's what I tell myself. Yeah, I don't know. I got my master's in computer science. Then I started working at Amazon as a software development engineer
Yeah.
for 3 years. Yeah. And then I saw an opening at the developer relations team for LATAM. Then I decided to apply, and it worked for some reason. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Do you like it more than like a strictly engineering role?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I guess as a software development engineer, you kind of have like to learn the stuff to do the work, but there wasn't a lot of time to like teach other people stuff.
Yeah.
And then as a developer advocate, that's pretty much your job.
Yeah, you create content for a living, sort of.
Yeah.
Do you still code? Like, do you find yourself coding a lot every day still? I think I asked you this.
Yeah, not a lot, but I have to understand stuff enough in order to be able to talk about to other developers, right?
Do you
yeah.
do you feel more like do you feel like on your off time you have to like do like side projects or stuff like that just to keep up? Because that's an issue I have. Like I create technical content, but sometimes it gets to me where it's like, oh Gwen, like I'm actually not doing like the work. So I feel like I'm not worthy of talking about it. I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been doing a lot of side projects because I don't know. My head is not into it lately with everything going on at the moment. But yeah, for sure. You do get the feeling, but then I don't know. Like I mentioned on Discord, as a software developer, like I wouldn't say I was coding like 30% of the time. There's this illusion that software developers are coding all the time, which is definitely not true.
Yeah.
It's just like it's the most fun part of the job, but it's not what we get to do.
Well, that's what I was saying last time when in the last stream where in my cloud engineering role, I was doing like kind of like all over the place. Like I was even doing like full stack development, and I think the least amount of stuff that I was doing was like strictly cloud related. And then someone else had asked me like, "Wait, what's a cloud engineer?" Or like what any role title actually, and it's like it really comes down to like individual companies how to implement it. And I mean I don't know if that's good or bad, but roles are just like one software engineer at one place is going to do a lot different than like at another place. Same for like any role.
Yeah, even in the same place, two software engineers are going to do completely different things based on their level or if they're working on different teams.
Here's the question: what was the transition like going from a technical role to a less technical one? I wouldn't say it's less technical. It's just different. I don't know. Would you say that's?
Yeah, I think that the technical side is still there, but there's a soft side that definitely we should have as like good software engineers or once you get more senior, but you definitely have to develop communication skills and presentation skills and even I think like at least I don't know because like as a software engineer you have a sprint, you have specific tasks that you work on and you have like 2 weeks to implement them, and then as a developer advocate you have to work a lot on your like time management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess like the technical aspect is still there, but you do have to develop a bunch of other skills that I think good software engineers should have regardless, but not necessarily.
One thing that I think people who don't create technical content don't get is how hard it actually is to create content, especially if you're on video. Oh my gosh, that's tough. It kind of like whenever I have to record, I'm always like, well, does my face look okay? Like, oh, like I don't know, my voice is kind of off, or like, oh no, I said this in a weird way, I gotta do it again. Oh, maybe I could say it in a different way, or I should practice more, stuff like that. So there's a lot that you don't think when you're just like strictly in a technical role, like you don't have to worry about it at all, right? So there's different challenges, and it doesn't make any of either role like easier. So many technical people don't like presenting, so even if you don't do the job on a daily basis, you are the best expert available to teach. So many technical people don't like presenting. Let me think about that.
I feel like there is a thing about like, and I've seen this in my sprint demos, for example, that a lot of the people that are like most like maybe like very high level in the company are the most like terse in terms of like a presentation, like because they're like this is the technical thing, let's get it very technical. And it's also in a sprint demo, so like usually the people that are participating in the sprint demo are mostly technical, but definitely there is a divide. I mean, this is not only my current company, but in general, like my experience with having to like even in school when you have people that are more technical and people that are more like business oriented and similar, the presentation skills are more like diverse. And I feel like when you're making technical content that has to be consumed on a daily basis as a developer advocate, you have to cover every spectrum of developer that might use the technology that you're talking about. So it might be people that get started with the technology, or people that never, or people that are living in the technology and you're just showcasing a new feature or something. So it has to be like a very big balance, and not a lot of people are good at doing that. So there is a lot of work in the developer relationship space to actually be good at hitting that right spot of technical but understandable.
Well, one thing I've found is, and in my experience, this has always been like more of the higher up, the people who have like years and years of experience, is like they explain something in a way that other people in years with the same amount of years of experience would understand. But then, me being a junior, I'm like, well, what is life? Like, what are you saying? Like, right? And then they don't want to, I guess, change it or maybe dumb it down. But, and I guess that's kind of like a curse and a blessing, because that forced me to like do my own research. And whenever I wanted to ask them questions, I had to make sure that I at least met them halfway or whatever. But I also feel like it makes it harder for other people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, let's see. Let me look at the chat. Someone said, "Yay, Puma hat, Richard." It's
See,
pretty
this
bad.
time I didn't have a hat because I know it wasn't a requirement this time.
I'm gonna start making a requirement now. Dress code is you have to wear a hat. Parveen's there. Oh, you're not on the video. All right, who else is on? I think I got all the comments. I realized. Did you know that LinkedIn has live now? Like you can stream
Yes.
to LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think
No.
we've had it for a while.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
feel
was
like
not
the-
aware
the-
either.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know some developer advocates that just stream to LinkedIn, and apparently a bunch of people watch it over there.
Real?
Yeah.
Wow, I should just push this to LinkedIn then.
All the comments are all about synergy.
Or it's like
Yeah.
the person that they wait. No, what's that like huge meme where it's like an interview and this person was a dog or whatever? Do you remember that huge
Oh,
post that was going around?
Wait, wasn't it the with the cat lawyer or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah, the cat lawyer. No, actually, they're yeah, it was. I think it was like a lawyer. Yeah, like I don't remember any dog-related things, but I remember the cat lawyer as being
There's
big, even on
there's a
LinkedIn.
cat boss or something, isn't there?
I do not remember that.
Yeah.
I just
don't know
remember
too.
this big thing about the lawyer that was like, "I'm not a cat," and because he got stuck on like the Snapchat filter on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that too. I didn't even know Zoom had filters.
No,
Zoom
there's-
doesn't. There is Snap Camera. There is
Yeah.
the Snapchat version, like the Snapchat app for like computers that like adds filters to other thing, and then you use the Snap Camera as a virtual camera in Zoom
Mhm.
directly.
Oh, so it's like an overlay kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Ah.
but it's pretty similar to Snapchat.
People don't realize that they're using Snap Camera, so Snap
Mhm.
Camera it works even when it's turned off, basically. So if maybe let's say that your daughter or like your son or someone use the Snap Camera on your computer, then you turn it on, it's still Snap Camera on Zoom, and then you have all the filters, and then you can't do anything because you don't know the Snap Camera is on.
But does it take your video input
Yeah,
and it just like
It's like
it puts it on
OBS.
there?
OBS
It's
virtual.
like OBS that basically you just with OBS you can start virtual camera and then
Mhm.
use virtual camera as an input in other software.
Right.
For Snap Camera, basically you pass the webcam feed to Snap Camera. Snap Camera applies the feed and then it routes it out to
Yeah.
something else.
Oh, okay.
But I think you can still choose your actual web camera in the Zoom.
Yeah, you have to change it,
Yeah,
but I don't know how
okay.
how technical are people that don't understand
Yeah.
that they don't realize that they're cats.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Like, if it takes like the feed of the camera, and then the only way to remove it is by like removing. Snap
It's
camera or
it's
something,
switching
or it creates a
camera
different
or yeah, it's switching camera to non-snap camera or go to snap camera and remove filters because it also gives a clean feed.
Mhm.
But yeah, also Parveen, like wrong cleanup as you can see. Like there is no.
one today.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm not close, but I'm about to be close to moving out of this place. So at this point, I'm not even like making an effort anymore.
Oh yeah.
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 Have you packed at all?
No, I mean we're moving in May, so it's like I have like a month and a half.
Month and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't want to organize stuff regardless.
I
know
just,
the
like
feeling.
at this point, no, I don't feel like it's like worth the effort.
I would say I'm a bit ahead of you, Elf. Oh, I'm probably moving in 2 to 3 weeks.
You're moving too? Where are you going?
We're going to a bigger place. We're still
but
in
same
Kingston,
area?
yeah. Same area.
I don't think I'm moving anytime soon.
I hate it.
Just to let you know. Says I'll join if you'll have me. Right, my room is not clean either, but it's fine. That's it. That's gonna be a rule now. Your room can't be clean if you want to join the stream.
Yeah, it's,
Well, my
it's
room
like
was
it
kind
is
of-
a requirement.
It's a
It is a
requirement.
requirement.
Yeah, it's required.
You just
Yeah,
stole-
only
lost
Gwen as as the stream ready, like I guess set up
Mhm.
the full.
Yeah, well, just it's just like that way I can sit here and record videos, and it's like so easy, and then I don't have to like change anything. Except when I have to do like more professional videos, I'll remove the teleprompter thingy. But
Mhm.
besides that, it makes life so much easier. Not having to like figure out your background or if you're presentable, like in terms of like
Yeah.
or have to put on like Zoom background or anything like that.
Anna, what did you use to like what part of Amazon did you use to work before, like as a software engineer?
Yeah, I worked for not super fun, but electronic invoicing for Brazil and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Electronic
So
invoicing.
yeah, I guess it's different from the US, but everything that you purchase in Brazil has to be kind of like authorized by the government. So you have like to, I don't know, create an invoice, send it to the government, make sure they sign it, and then you're able to ship stuff out. You can't like send anything to the customer if you don't have an authorized invoice.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
for taxes, right?
Yeah.
I just dealt with this when I was in Ecuador over the winter. Oh my goodness, I don't
Yeah.
ever want to, because like the package arrived there, and let's say like the first week of December, and I wasn't able to, because they have to do paper, they have to open it up, and then they have to figure out how much they can tax you, and then you have to pay, and then they have to like put it back together, and then they always give you your package. It's messed up. It's not gonna be nice and packaged like how you get
Yeah.
it originally. They tax you like a crazy amount. I don't know what it is in Brazil, but I think it's like some like 30% in Ecuador. So you have to pay that, and then like a month later you can get your stuff.
Yeah. 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 I mean, for when you're importing stuff to Brazil, it's the same thing, but it's like 60% tax. It's absurd. But yeah,
how
like
much?
every 60.
60?
Yeah.
60% tax on the
Yeah.
value of whatever it is.
Yeah. Including like shipping and
I
everything.
I do remember
Oh
this because I've seen a
my
lot of
God.
people. I've seen a lot of people
Hey.
actually. Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
I've seen a lot of people actually saying how in Brazil, like things like thinking about like, and this was related to like PS5 when I was
Yeah.
looking, and they said like how buying like consoles or like PC parts in like Brazil is extremely expensive because basically everything costs double whatever it
Yeah.
is, almost
60%
double.
is
Yeah. You
crazy.
can buy a used car for like the price of a MacBook or something. It's like absurd.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But then
Wow.
like everything that we sell, even like in grocery store, Amazon books, whatever, you need a stamped invoice by the government. Same thing in Mexico. So this is pretty much what I did. Like new use cases, like Prime, I don't know, Prime Video, whatever, Twitch. We had to start invoicing those.
That's
Not super
crazy.
fun, but yeah, like not fancy stuff, but I learned a lot.
You said your master's is in computer science?
Yeah.
Wow, so you're like super smart. You're way
Yeah,
smarter than me.
I don't know.
Does anyone
I
else
don't
have
know.
a master's here? Oh, wait.
Yeah,
First,
I
let's. You have a master's? All right, hold on. We'll get to you. Let's
Yeah.
introduce the new guest. Carolyn? How do I pronounce your name?
I say Carolyn, but it doesn't matter.
Carolyn. Okay. Hello. I know you're a
Hi.
cloud engineer.
Yeah, cloud and data
engineer.
engineer at Puma.
Cloud and
Oh,
That's
data.
there's a
Puma.
Puma.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, that's
That's
why
why
you
the
said
Puma.
the hat. Yeah.
that's why the Puma hat. I was very excited about that.
Cool. Do you want to like introduce yourself in like a minute? I don't know if anyone
Yeah.
else knows you.
I'm Carolyn. I'm a cloud and data engineer at Puma. I do content on YouTube. I'm brand new to the platform, so go subscribe. And yeah, so I'm on the certification cake right now, just like Rashab. So, well, we'll see how that goes.
Do you get free stuff from Puma? Are you allowed to say?
Not always. It depends when we change office, I get free stuff when they're getting rid of stuff.
I would have so
But I
many,
get
like,
60%
hoodies.
off.
Oh, my 60% off?
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to
Yeah.
Brazil, you pay the regular
And
price.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's a question from the chat. What's the most difficult experience you've had as administrator? Is that like as a cloud administrator? I'm assuming. No. All right. Art. Give us more context so we can answer. But anyway, we were talking about master's degrees. Alf has one. Anna has one.
Yeah, so
Carol-
Alf probably knows you don't have to be that smart to have one.
Yeah, I'm not, and I got one, so I'm
Yeah.
okay.
What's yours? What's yours in?
Mine,
Yeah.
quantitative finance and business analytics. Yeah, it's I'm not using much of it. No, I'm not. I'm using basically none of my like no, really. Actually, I have like this double type of thing where I use half of it. Like I'm using most of my business analytics because it was basically data science with the very concentration towards like business data and business like data science applied to business decisions, and that's what I do basically now. And then the quantitative finance, I just wanted to get into finance, but then I just realized it doesn't really meld too well with my belief system. So that's about it.
So, all right, Rishabh, do you're doing your bachelor's right now, right? Or you're
Yeah,
about to
starting
start?
in April. Yeah.
What made you go back to do that?
Uh,
Just bored.
yeah. Needed another certificate. This
Yeah.
is kind of a big one.
Yeah.
No, I was doing my bachelor's back in India. When I decided to migrate to Canada. So I dropped off. I think I was in I was in my second year. So I dropped off, came here, and started doing my networking diploma. That was 2 years, and then I'm kind of feeling that I should go back and complete what I started.
Are you doing it just because you want to finish, or like for real?
Yeah, no, I did find it pretty interesting. I loved my time when I was in India. So
You were doing computer science?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Caroline, what's your experience with school?
Oh, I have a bachelor's in physics.
Interesting. How'd you
I
get
don't
into
use it at
cloud?
all.
Yeah. How'd you get into cloud?
How did I get into cloud? I needed a job after school, and I got into a help desk role, and so now I'm in
Yes,
cloud.
help desk. See, I think wait, Alf, you didn't start in help desk, did you?
No,
Or
I did
support?
not. No, I started in as a shoe retail as sales associate. I was selling shoes during undergrad. That's literally my start of my job.
how did you get into tech?
Yeah, what's
It-
the first tech?
Yeah.
Me, my first tech role, well, specifically was I in more of an internship type of thing. Like I was hired as a finance intern at a venture capital non-profit in Philadelphia. Like in Pennsylvania, it's a Pennsylvania state-funded venture capital, and I ended up basically building a tool for like company valuation in like internal company valuation, like with VBA and VBA in Python.
Oh my goodness.
So like VBA is like horrible. Oh my god! Like doing VBA stuff is like ridiculous. But basically, that was that was supposed to be like a very financy role, but then it turned out to be very like there was a lot of software engineering related, like a lot of it in like my was in. Excel in because I was building tools for people that work in finance. So I was creating this software basically in that was automating all our valuation system. And in the meantime, I was in my master at that point, and I was studying for quantitative finance, business analytics. Then I got an internship at the company where I'm currently at, doing and I built this. I built a system that basically does geolocation of inventory across different distribution centers, and based on like the type of item, like the and sales history for the similar types of item, it tells you which people are gonna buy it more likely between the three areas of the country, so that we can actually place it closer to the people that are there.
So
Interesting.
you got into it kind of sort of by accident, I guess.
It kind of is like I took one computer science class during like I went after my bachelor. I went back to community college because I got my bachelor in marketing, and I didn't like marketing, so I just said I want to go more into finance and like more technical finance. So I went towards quantitative finance, and I went back to community college taking classes because I didn't have a lot of like quantitative background, so I took only classes in math, and I took like a computer science class random, and it was C++. But I really enjoyed the C++ and just really enjoyed coding, and that's where I really started coding pretty extensively. And then from there, it kind of built up to the point that I found myself building software building software, and people used it, so I really just stuck with it.
Here's a sort of similar. What important things to consider when deciding whether to concentrate on GCP, Azure, AWS? Oh.
Honestly,
That one.
it's a very it's a kind of it's really not a question that has like a definite answer. Like the best indicator is, if anything, is like if you're interested in staying where you are, look at where company are more using the tool, the cloud provider in your area. If you have to choose one, is like which niche are you interested in? For example, if you're interested in web development and similar, probably AWS are more like Amplify and a lot of other tools that like help web developers more. Like if you're thinking about maybe GCP, they are the people that came up with Kubernetes, so their Kubernetes platform is actually a little bit stronger and more full organized. If you have experiences like system administration and similar, Azure is like people that made like Active Directory, and everyone uses Active Directory, so Azure probably might be the place. So it really doesn't have like an answer. I would say that myself, it doesn't have a specific answer, because the cloud knowledge is the same across the plane. So you should know more about cloud concepts than very good at like just one of them. Like knowing how VPCs work is the same everywhere. Basically, they're just a different name. Knowing how software like services meld between each other is the same across the board. It's really just about figuring out where you want to go next.
AWS, how does they organize projects? Like in Azure, we have resource groups. I know GCP has projects. What's the AWS?
So I feel like currently there isn't like not like this is like my biggest gripe with like AWS compared to like GCP at work, because at work we can build a project and it basically like it's almost its own account. That like does you can do like you can select like whatever services you want to use in that account. In AWS, I guess it's more dependent. Like you can make another account and then use organizations to like just get billing in one account and then use one account only for a project. It's a little cumbersome, but mostly it's like with tags and similar. I would say that would be my best guess, like how you really organize projects in AWS.
Yeah, and that's why naming convention is really important in AWS.
Yeah, and that's one of the two hardest problem in computer science. So naming stuff and caching validation.
VM-A, VM-01. Here's a question. When working with new interns, graduates, do you find having a traditional education prepares people more for the role? Or does a non-traditional background have more exposure? Or it's another question that doesn't have a solid answer.
Yeah, it's more about the person rather than anything. Like it's there's a pattern. It's like the people who take initiative to look at things are the people you want, basically. Whether they have a traditional degree or they don't, it doesn't matter. You just want somebody who's willing to go and take initiative and just do things and explore.
I think this is something I wanted to bring up with like Anna, because coming from when I lived in South America, if you don't have a degree, you can't work at like a gas station, a grocery store. It's like it's so heavy. So a lot of it depends on like your environment and where you're at and stuff like that. And I can't say like a blanket statement of like you don't need a degree, Because like, what if you do? What if you are in a situation like that, right? If I were to have stayed in Ecuador, there's no way I would have been able to do anything while possibly even like having a master's degree. I don't know if that's your experience, Anna, but I know that was big, like a reason why I moved back here.
Yeah, definitely. I think compared to the US, I lived there for a few years, and you see a lot of people, even if they have degrees, they work with something completely different from what they originally studied. You don't see a lot of that over here in Brazil. But yeah, for more traditional roles, for sure, like being like a lawyer, an engineer, whatever, I feel like in tech, we're moving towards, since like we need a lot of people in, and there's not enough talent in the market, we're more accepting of people who have like their own experiences and not necessarily traditional education. But it's tough. It's definitely something that's like overvalued over here. And
Is it super expensive? I'm not aware of like how.
no, not like in the US.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
not like you have to go in debt to get an education.
$100,000 in debt to
No,
get.
yeah. We have a lot of public schools which are really good but hard to get into. But then, like, I don't know, maybe if you go to a private school in São Paulo, it's gonna be like super expensive. But if you go to a smaller city, like, that would be fine, mostly, if you're working to pay for it.
I think it's pretty similar in India too, to what Anna and Gwen said. And I think price also plays a factor here, just the tuition of getting a traditional degree. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I feel in France also. I know in France they have. I mean, education is cheap. I think my cousins, when they go to college, it's maybe €100 a year type of thing.
Wow.
So it's very cheap. So I mean, that's one of the reasons they require degrees, is because what is your excuse to not have one if it's just €100? So yeah, they're very like into, like, at least in France, is very into education and having a degree and doing all that stuff. So that's why I like it here in the US.
Yeah.
For like Italy, for example, like I don't have much experience in terms of like tech space specifically for Italy, because I got like a degree from like business school. But my experience is like everyone goes at least through 5 years of school. Like there are very, very few people that I know that got only their bachelor, and bachelor is like 2 years, like 3 years in Italy, and then there are 2 years of masters, and that's like the route that basically almost everyone I know went through, except for like a few people that went actually out of Italy, and like so one of them is working Google in the startup like services for in Dublin. And the other guy started his own company and is in Luxembourg, and he does like his own company, is an incubator, and he is doing his own thing there. But most of the other people I know went through 5 years and then started working somewhere else. But these are all people that went from my like business degree. Like I just went after my business degree, I just moved to America, and I've been here ever since. So it's been different.
America. Here's the
Yeah.
how you result. Okay, so this person is talking about as a cloud administrator. So I guess to generalize this, we could probably say, what's the hardest thing the most difficult experience you've had working in cloud?
Messing up.
Yeah.
When you do something and you're like almost ready to go to production, and then you realize you just messed it all up and you have to start all over again. I had something like that with file sync. I put everything in the ECUS2 region and everything was set up. And then we talked to Microsoft and I'm like, well, you need to have it in the same region as your previous data. So otherwise you have to pay for like the inter-region transfer.
Yeah.
And it's like, we were looking at like $10,000 to move the data. And it was like, oh crap. So I had to start all over again. It's just like, that's an annoying thing in the cloud. Is just, if you mess up, it can cost a lot of money, especially if you don't catch it in time.
That is one of the one of my coworkers were saying is like there's the trade-off with having like on-demand everything is that it
Mhm.
prevents people from like experimenting because they're afraid of like spending too much because you actually, if something goes wrong, prices skyrocket. And that's true to a degree, but there is also like if you know that you messed up something specific, a lot of the cloud providers are very like okay with like if there are like horror stories of people that got like weird like things happening on their cloud and they got like $1 million in like bills and they just wiped it no problem because they realize it's like complicated. It's like you don't have to rely on that, but like definitely those are formative experiences. Like when you see $1 million going out, and you're like I don't know, a solo developer, like a team of three and something, you're trying to
Oh my
bootstrap
goodness.
something, and that's the point where you get your blood pumping for sure.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
need
Yeah, I've
it's
had
cardio
so easy to
for
spend
the
money.
week.
So easy.
Yeah,
to-
I've
Yeah.
heard a story because I was in education before that. So everybody as in the Boston area, all the universities, all the IT people know each other. So I heard the story of a professor at Harvard who just spin up a VM in AWS. That was like a few years back, and just forgot, like, just very powerful, like 10 CPU type of VM, and just forgot to turn it off for a month, and then he got a $30,000 bill at the end of the month, and he was like, just pay it. It was just like, at Harvard, we've got billions of dollars. We're buying off Cambridge.
If you're Harvard,
We can
yeah,
buy
like
it.
I forgot to I did once forget one VM, but thank like the AWS divinities that it was like a T2 micro and I'm still on like free tier because I
Yeah.
just left it for like a month and a half and it was like and then I just saw that it was like a lot of like this instance and this has been going on for forever and I was like, oh, okay, we're fine.
Anyone? What's Microsoft for Azure Virtual Day? Rishabh, do you know what this is?
Yeah. So Microsoft does their own. They provide their own training material for fundamentals,
Okay.
which is the AZ900, and then if you attend the training, which is I think 2 days. I think it was 2 days in the past. I don't know how it is now. You get a free attempt for the AZ900.
Is the actual like the virtual day, is that free?
Yes,
The is
and the
it
exam is free too.
so? But it's like only a certain amount of people can get in.
Yeah, so the registration, like I know it was not so. There weren't many seats available because people have got to know about it and they just go off as soon as the dates are announced.
This is the first time I've heard about this.
No, I think that's how I did my AZ900 last June. Yeah.
I had no idea. Mike, see, this is what we were talking about this the other day. Microsoft has so many
many.
of these
Mhm.
things, these
Yeah,
like
and
hackathons and programs and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, and it's great. I don't know about the other ones, GCP or AWS, like what they're doing.
No.
AWS, as far as I know, AWS doesn't have as many of these. The good thing about AWS is, as I mentioned last time, is just like that you can get like 50% off your next certification when you pass one, and you get like free exams, like free like
Practice exams,
like
yeah.
practice exams, and that's like the highest like
You can
point.
get,
Yeah. There are a few events where you get free training and that they do a lot of that. Like they have like every like AWS Twitch channel where they do a lot of like trainings that are like free or like they have open office hours for a lot of services. So they do a lot of like training around, but those training usually don't lead you to get like a free voucher for a certification or something.
And it's pretty similar for GCP. They do a lot of training stuff and events like virtual days, but you only get like 30% or 20% off for your certificates.
Yeah, it's 2 days.
Yeah.
So do you have to take the exam
No,
after
you can
like,
book
right
it.
away?
You get I think you get like the email you register with, it gets linked to your Pearson account, and then you can book your exam within 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have ample of time.
Okay, that's good then. Because if you had to take it like right after
No.
you finish the course, that would be
Yeah.
intense.
Oh yeah, no, that would be pretty intense. Ooh, like back to 2 days and then right after you have to pass it right away.
Yeah.
I think it takes like a week for you to get a voucher in the email. Like it's not like even immediate thing. I remember
Last
there was this thing that there was this kind of controversy where they said that there is this free course and they didn't send out the voucher for like a month and a half.
yeah, but that was last
Azure?
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last year.
that was last year because they were sending out voucher codes for Pearson, and because it was super booked, I didn't hear back from them for a month, and I did talk to support, and that's when I got it. But this has changed now because they link it to your email now, so you don't get a voucher code. You just go into your Pearson account, and if you use the same email, you can claim it through the Pearson portal, which is good because people were selling their vouchers on Reddit.
Yeah.
Because people
Even
would
if you have a
attend
different email.
multiple. Yeah, because people would attend multiple events, and then they have like 6 or 4, I don't know,
How much would they sell it for?
$50. I've seen few for $50. Yeah.
The grifters never.
Oh my gosh, they can't. Did you get your PS5, Alf?
It's coming on Wednesday.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm worried because it's FedEx, and I'm worried because it's
You're
like
just gonna
on.
toss your package from the van straight into your Porsche, like.
Yeah, that's
FedEx
my
doesn't care.
that's my afraid. Like that's what I'm afraid of, and so yeah. But otherwise, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I got mine on StockX, so I'm part of the problem.
Man, no.
I didn't want to wait though. Yeah, I know. I like if you buy it that way, you're encouraging the people who resell and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you pay more for it?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed to say how much I pay for it, but
Yeah. So don't. No worries.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I waited like everyone. I stood there during my lunch break. I wasted my lunch break and didn't even get lunch because I was there refreshing the GameStop page literally 600 times
yeah. Well,
until it came up.
It was like a month ago when there was like a drop at Walmart or something like that. And
Yeah.
I cleared my afternoon to just be available because I think everyone was saying it was at 3 and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be not doing anything, close my door, no one bother me. And then I get 301, I click it, and then I get it into my car, and then it like the website just like dies, and then I refresh, it's on the car. I'm like, okay, again, and then I'm able to get it again. When I go to check out, and then I get all my details in, I'm like, yes, I got this, and I hit. They had like one more screen where it's like confirm your details. So I go to that screen and then everything died again. And then I got so pissed. I ran, right away. I went to StockX. I'm like, I'm done with this. What else do we have here? GPS. Then I'm gonna watch your Cloud Guru videos. All right, shameless plug. Let's remove that. I want to make sure we didn't miss any. We talked about this one, right? The most difficult experience. Yeah. Anna, I'm curious. I mean, I'm trying to ask you this so you don't have to say something controversial, but like, what do you think about certifications? Because you work at AWS.
Yeah. No, yeah, I actually liked them. I only have the easy one, the certified practitioner. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Even if you guys have some tips on, because I know I've been like meaning to study for the solutions architect associate one since last October, but I don't know. I think the way like I did for the one that I have is just like schedule the exam and then you go from there, right?
Yeah, like the logic usually the best solution is always like book it so you force yourself to study.
Yeah.
If the best thing, like if you really want to go like fully into it, you also reschedule it 3 times on the same day, so you actually don't even get the chance. Because the thing is that you can also do, I'm gonna book it, then 2 days before and just gonna reschedule it for another 2 weeks. But if you want to remove that extra level of comfort, you literally just book it again back to back 2 more times. And so you can't rebook it without having to actually cancel the exam and rebuy it. So that's a little bit too much
didn't
effort.
know
and
that.
Yeah.
Wait, do you
Like
do
I
that?
never, it
You
never
all do
happened
it?
to me. Like it never happened to me to do it. I had to reschedule one because I actually had like time conflict with other things that I had to do. But I never had to do it. Like I never was so intent on not studying that I had to cancel and reschedule 3 times in a row.
That's intense.
Yeah. When I feel like I'm ready, what I do is I schedule it, but within 24 hours of when I, because you can't
Yeah.
reschedule at that point.
Yeah, but that's true.
So that's what I
also
did for my Z104. I'd scheduled it like 23 hours.
Damn,
So it's
no,
like I gotta take it. I
Yeah,
gotta take it.
that's. I've only done it for one exam, but I didn't do that well on that exam. It was just too much pressure. I did it for solutions architect last year. Like I thought I was prepared, and I just booked it for like, I think there were only 4 hours, and then it just panicked for the 4 hours.
you know, I have to give myself like 2 or 3 weeks for
Mhm.
whatever thing I take, just for because I know that it might be that I don't start studying right away, but I know that at least I need like a 2-week buffer to like prepare and like a review. Like for example, I was able to do solution architect and the developer associate,
Associate.
the developer associate in like 3 weeks back to back.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's
3 weeks total.
and no, like
no,
like
yeah,
took
two
the
certs and
associate 3 weeks after I took the
Oh,
other
okay,
one.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
and I think that it does help because there's a lot of overlap between all three certs, like the solutions architect and developer associate and sysops. And that's what I did is I took my solutions architect and then waited a month for my developer associate. But then again, I just waited 2 weeks for my sysops, and it did help a lot.
You have all three associates.
Yep.
Wow.
Because I was not sure which professional path I should choose. Like, should I go for a solutions architect pro, or should I go for like the DevOps pro? So my manager said, like, instead of going upwards, go sideways.
Okay.
Scale horizontally.
Exactly. And then he said, think it through, and then you'll know which one you want to do for the pro.
Do they pay for all your certs?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I-
Only-
most places
Still.
do that now? No, I don't know. Maybe. Do most
No.
places do that? No.
Not mine.
I did like, there is a cap for it too. Like, we get some educational benefits, and there's a hard limit on how much you can spend on your personal development kind of things. I did hit that last year, so
Okay, well, are you gonna hit it this year? Because you have like,
no, because
Entire curriculum
Microsoft
that
has
you
given
wanna-
me 4 vouchers. Yep.
yeah, that's what I like about more
Mhm.
IT companies I've realized lately is that they're willing to pay for stuff like that. Like at the
Yeah.
first help desk job that I had, they gave us like $1,000 each year to
Mhm.
do like whatever you wanted to do, as long as
Yeah.
it like helps you in your career. And you got to think like how much is like the AWS like in an associate certification?
Associate is
150.
150 and the pro
Is 300.
300.
And that's same for specialty too, right?
Yeah, specialty
Okay.
other 300 too.
Yeah, so that's pretty expensive. Like
Oh,
for
yeah.
Yeah.
for say if you're doing like help desk salary,
Hmm.
that's pretty expensive. And then you have to
Yeah,
buy
we-
like material to study.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like something that popped up recently in in the 100 Days of Cloud Discord, not related to this because like certification are expensive. So the logic of let's do have exam dumps because like I know that I prepared enough for the exam, but I want to just make sure that I pass in case something happens, and that is like that's not gonna help anyone, including the industry, because knowing that there is this the exam dumps should just be fully banned and like fully organized against.
Yeah. And I think it's better to go the other ways. Like, don't go for certification, just do the training, like build projects and apply for the job, because once you get in to the interview, they'll know if you know stuff.
Oh, you're saying like use the curriculum as like to guide you pretty much, but you don't have to necessarily
Yeah,
take it.
and that's what I did for my cloud practitioner, because I was in help desk and like they won't pay for a cloud certificate because I'm working in help desk. So I just learned AWS and sat for the interview and I got in, and then after like 6 or 7 months, that's when I started like taking actual certificates.
It's funny because like now that I'm like already in the space, I find myself wanting to take certifications more than I actually like. I took one at help desk, and then after that, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then now I like kind of. But I think you know what it is. I think it's because I see all of you guys doing it, and then I'm like, oh, I have to do it too. I
For
feel like
me,
my
it's
But the
just
question is-
addicting now. It's just the badges that you get on a claim. I'm like, I want to
it's for
collect
that
all-
LinkedIn
Yeah.
post, so you can
It's
post it
like
on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
a very like tech oriented Pokemon type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's a catch them all.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I
And
don't know
have
that it does anything.
have that 20x certified in your LinkedIn like title.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I would never go probably for like the full like the Centurion belt. Like I think they call it the Centurion Gladiator belt. Like if you get all the 12 AWS certificates, that's like they
Oh.
call it the Gladiator belt. I don't
Do
think
you
I
get
would
a belt?
go-
Who calls it
No,
that?
no, it's
I
like
think I saw something.
yeah, there was something, but it's just the name of it. I don't think they send you
Okay.
anything, but they call it the Gladiator belt.
I'm gonna
But if
search
you get
that.
all of those, you get like this, it's just like the coolness of having all of those. But I don't know if I would ever go through, like, because the thing is that like there are some that don't make sense for me to go to. Like I don't have, like I don't think I have very much interest in going, for example, the Solution Architect Pro. Because I don't feel like it's like I feel like it's a more of a technical consultant type of a situation. I don't know, like it probably is useful, like it definitely gives you like so much insight on like building and something, but I feel like the DevOps Pro would be
Yeah.
more related to my field because I feel it's a more hands-on and applied one compared to the Solution Architect Pro, where it's more of a like you definitely have to apply and know stuff, but it's more about coming up with a solution with something more than knowing how to strictly like use the service itself to build it. It's more like, okay, how do we solve this problem versus, oh, this is DevOps. How do we secure a DevOps like a
Yeah.
CI/CD pipeline using AWS services? I might be wrong. Like it might be like different, but like for example, that was my idea between the difference between solution architect associate and developer associate. Like developer associate was more hands-on and similar compared to solution architect.
But what do certifications do professionally for you? Because for me, if I have the certification, I just have the certification. I don't get a raise. I don't get a different job. Like unless I want to apply to a different job, the certification doesn't help me.
I want to say a lot of things
Twitter
on
cloud.
that, but I'm bound to not say. No, it I don't know. It personally, it did help me a lot.
Getting started.
All
for me
three,
helped.
yeah, all 3 points that you mentioned: the raise, new job offers, and a lot of other good stuff that has happened is just because I was actively doing them.
There's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot between doing like maybe one or two or a few like well done, really learning the material.
Yeah.
Like all the examples that they give you, working on them, like doing them actually in your own environment, versus like getting 20 or 30 but just memorizing. It's like I don't like, I think that other extreme is like makes no sense.
Which is why I feel like doing a more learning in public, preparing for certification is more of a point, because actually you are building like the idea of building content around certification, even if they're not like, oh, I'm building a training course for this certification and I have to show you that I have it, so you take my training course. It's more about, okay, I'm preparing this for this certification. Here's what I learn while I'm working on it. It's more useful because the thing is that then you're actually working and learning to the material for that certification. A lot of people just literally do the collect them all, like literally just because it's a like a 34 times certified and similar. And at that point, I don't know, there is no, like, I feel like the certification part is a very, very diminishing return type of approach. Like, there are some
Absolutely.
certifications
Yeah.
that really help you. And I feel like,
Yeah.
for example, like if you want to work, like if you don't have like major experience, but then you get, for example, the RHEL certified administrator, or like or a Linux professional
Mhm.
certification. Those ones are very, like, they are cared about in the
Yeah.
industry. But then others are really about just like, it's more proving to yourself that you know the material
Yeah.
based on the people that
Yeah.
actually provide the material.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
trying to
badge
find
of
this
honor.
comic that
Yeah.
finished it.
Exactly. I think it's also like, yeah, it's a badge of honor if you like, for a stuff that you're learning,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're just learning it and you don't get anything.
Mhm.
And I think
The one
people,
thing I like with Microsoft is like once you have the certification and then you're certified trainer, you can just train people
Mhm.
like that, and you get access to the thing. So for me, that's one of on my path is get MCT certified, and then I can train
Nice.
people at Puma and be like, let's save on the training. I'll do it.
I saw this. I think I don't know who made this. Kind of looks
Forest.
like a forest cartoon.
Yeah, it's
But
Forest.
yeah, I agree with this. Like this.
Yeah,
sweet
there
spot
is
1 or 2
exactly.
plus hands-on project.
Yeah.
There is, yeah, definitely there is, like, I feel like at a certain point there is there is definitely like the diminishing return
Mhm.
in
Absolutely.
because really, like, at the point you are more concentrating on just preparing for, like, basically like what I was doing in high school is preparing for the exam and then flash out as soon as the exam is done.
Mhm.
That's my my high school and kind of college
I
experience.
think that's like
Like,
most people though.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
but
memorize for then and then
there
do
is
Then-
that.
nothing that is really retained at any point, just because there are so many that you have to go through. And
Mhm.
so having like a few of them, like, I feel like, for example, if you, like, for example, like, I'm looking to go do the DevOps primarily because, like, I want to focus on that area, and I feel like preparing for that certification, like, during the preparation I will get enough like hands-on projects because it's a pretty like complex exam and a hard topics and similar, so there's going to be a bunch of like hands-on stuff, so that's going to be helpful from that point of view. But then potentially I don't need to actually sit through the exam and take it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, because if anything, it's just like putting like a self stop on, like, saying, oh, I spent $300 to prepare to take this exam, so I better like prepare.
Mhm.
Instead of like
Mhm.
doing the route of like, I need this just for the sake of having it. It's really about, I spend the money to try this certification, I'm gonna learn the stuff to take it.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that with
and
the,
that's one
the
of my
303.
and that's one of my criticism about certifications. They're all multiple choice. So
Mhm.
really, if you just learn everything by heart, you're good. Whereas, like, it would be nice if there was like, here's a lab, do something like that.
A lot of
And
the Linux certs are lab based, like the Red Hat ones, the Linux Foundation ones. Alf, you just took one that's lab based? No.
No, but the like certified Kubernetes administrator
Kubernetes. Yeah.
and Kubernetes developer and Kubernetes security are all only lab based. They basically give you like a sheet of like problems to solve, and you have to solve them in a lab.
Yeah, if they were all like that, that would be cool. That would be way fun to study for.
Yeah.
I would totally, and I would do a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you would know somebody actually knows what they're doing.
Mhm. And there
It's
won't
not
be no like exam
dum-dum.
dumps. I think, yeah, it's tough to create exam dumps for lab-based exams.
But also because there are very, very hard strict rules on like even what you can talk about on the exam, like about the exam itself.
Yeah.
Like, I know like a bunch of people that took the CKD and wrote about it. There is not a single person that I know that actually said anything about what question they got. They just said how it was working, but they didn't say a single thing about this is a type of question that I received, which makes it more complicated because you literally need to know everything about it.
Someone was saying this last stream, like there are certain certs that let you, like exams that let you like read the documentation.
Yeah, the CKD does that. Like Terraform used to do that, I think. I seem to remember that like Terraform used to do it, but like I didn't do it like for the Terraform that I took recently.
Yeah, no, I think that changed quite a while ago.
I'm pretty
While
sure
they were
that the
changing their
Docker
platform and
certification-
stuff.
the Docker certification did that. Used to do that before when they actually offered it. Actually, I just realized that they don't offer anymore the Docker certification.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, if you actually look up Docker DCA, the Docker certified associate, it doesn't exist anymore. Like there is no page on Docker that talks about certification anymore.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
Was that
no.
lab or multi-choice?
There was a lab stuff, and there was multi-choice, and there was a bunch of things. It was multiple things, and you can use the the only thing that you can look up was the documentation in similar.
I wonder why they removed it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know anyone who studied for that one though.
I used to think about that, but then I feel like honestly, I have learning Docker in my way. Like in specifically, I'm using. I've been learning Docker in the past. Like I wrote myself blogs about Docker, like and I learned like through documentation and a lot of other material in similar, and just like playing around in the Docker CLI. But then recently I wanted to go more into Kubernetes, and I bought this Brett Fisher course on Udemy on Kubernetes mastery, and he also has Docker mastery that goes very deep into Docker as well. And he's a Docker captain, which is basically the equivalent of like AWS heroes and like Azure MVPs and similar for Docker.
Mhm.
And it's actually very, very, very high yield course.
They're called
So-
captains.
They're called captain, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Let's see. The chat's been quiet. I feel like they're just so entertained by what we're talking about. No
Hopefully.
we've had a good amount of people though, like at least like around 25 the entire time. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Such a great answer. I think this was for AWS good for developing apps, GCP good for orchestration, AWS for security. But there are many cloud yeah, definitely. The way this answer is structured kind of makes me think about multi-cloud. Just because it's like,
Yeah,
oh, you might want to do one in one.
You wouldn't. You honestly wouldn't want to do that. We had this conversation last time. I don't know if you really want to go. Like, there is like, there is this quote. There is this quote that is pretty funny because it's the Slack channel description of my infrastructure team at work, and it's like no one has best. Kubernetes doesn't have best practices. Everyone is practicing with Kubernetes, which is like no one knows anyone yet. Like there are no best practice, which is pretty funny because it's the infra team. So that's fine. And the quote is from Kelsey Hightower. So I mean,
I like Kelsey.
Oh yeah, Kelsey is amazing.
Super smart
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up some. Now I could write banners in here. I'm gonna write some questions on here. Some cliche questions. Watch. Maybe we can start some like conflict.
Oh no.
All right, I'll do this one first. I feel like that's a. Oh no, I don't want it to scroll. Hold on. There we go.
There's a lot of.
Oh no, I didn't do it. There.
I'll start the conflict. HTML.
Okay.
Wow, shots fired.
Man, right out of the gate
Oh,
with the flames.
Every week on Twitter, it's like HTML is a programming language, then like whatever it is. And I mean, obviously it is, but I don't know. I have an issue with tech Twitter.
Okay,
Like, it's all
GPS
copy
agrees
paste.
with me. Who's against me now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Is it or is Alf? Is it?
No, I'm okay. Like I honestly think like there is no reason why it shouldn't be. Like I don't think like a programming language is only the ones that are like Turing complete. Like do you even like do people actually care? Like the end user care if you're using Turing complete or not? Like no, like you're a software engineer. Are you using HTML? Yes, boom boom. Like that's the thing. If you're a software developer, you have to use the languages that are there. There are some things that are languages. You use the language to aid you in programming. Probably it's a programming language.
There you go. I switched a question. All right,
Yeah, I feel
Anna.
like there are a lot, like a very, very strong opinion on tech Twitter. Like it's just like a lot of people. Oh man, I mean, I would say Python because it's the language that takes me least to do anything in. Like if there is a something I can do, it will take me least time at all to do it in Python. But I would actually probably go and say JavaScript and TypeScript, even though they are basically they are different effectively. But like I'm learning TypeScript enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with April. Did I say that right? Because not being a software developer, or like I don't have any experience with programming in the past, but I have to do some automation, and every now and then I have to write some scripts. I think Python. I would choose Python just because it's easier to pick up and it's really easy to understand when you're just starting out.
It's just like extremely like it is like in the core of the language to be like clear and easy to understand.
Yep.
Which like honestly, again, it's so easy to pick up in like and so easy to work with. And then like all the people that are detracting from Python are specifically talking about the fact that like white space is like
Beast.
like is used like it has a meaning. And I could agree to a like I agree, but it's not like it's just like a mental model again. Even there, it's just saying it enforces formatting properly, and that's about it.
Okay. Python. So Rishabh, is it your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, Anna.
Yeah, mine is Java.
Wow.
Very controversial, yeah. But it's like the first one I learned, and I don't know, I use it a lot to this day. But I've been trying to use more JavaScript, and I don't know, like challenge myself. But yeah, Java fan.
Java
sure.
is the only language that I said like I will never learn Java. Like I put it to like I don't know. I'll die on the hill that I never want to learn Java or need to learn Java, and that I will die on the hill. And for some reason, just like every single time, as soon as I try to get into Java, I just see public class string args blah 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 to write anything, and just like no, I'm okay. I know that it's a wrong logic, but then the thing is like whenever I see a Java project, like there is this data, like Facebook has this SQL thing called Presto, which is like a super like large scale SQL that is built in like SQL infrastructure, like for query language that is built in Java. And whenever you open one file, it's in like a nested folder that is like 22 nested folders or something that are fully empty except for the last file that is there. I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to deal with that. So that's why I'm gonna die on the hill of no Java.
Python, Java. Caroline, what's yours?
PowerShell.
PowerShell. I thought you were gonna say C#.
No, actually, I don't really do C#.
Okay.
I mean, I know C#, but I don't. I prefer PowerShell. It's really like the easy way of doing .NET, and Azure is like all PowerShell. And like if I want to start a command, it's like new, poof, add.
Absolutely. For
It's
Azure,
like very clear, and I've developed like full blown applications in PowerShell, and it was just like very easy compared to everything else.
PowerShell.
But if I had to go
easy
with
to
like
read.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very.
if I
easy
had to choose a programming language that's not scripting, I would go with TypeScript.
Why does no one agree with me?
No.
C# is the
Different things. I think they're all good if you use it for the right problem.
Yeah.
It's like Yeah.
JavaScript is a great language, but all the extras, Node, Babel, blah 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 blah. blah. Plus,
Yeah.
plus every week hearing like framework.
Oh yeah.
On
I
tech
feel
Twitter.
that's a little bit of a meme that every week there's a new framework. But yeah, no, I agree that there is a little bit of bloat. I feel like again, you have to start with the knowledge of the language itself before you can dive into everything extra. Like usually the way I learned the JavaScript myself was starting with literally HTML, CSS first,
Yeah.
JavaScript to add some flair to it, then Node and understanding how to work with Node, like the working with like file systems, all the like JavaScript on the server type of approach, and then I went with React after, and for me was a pretty smooth ride there because I didn't try to jump right into like the crazy amount of stuff that comes with like npm, Webpack, and similar, and that is still like pretty wild territory for me. It's like like it definitely takes me longer to debug Webpack configurations than the application itself that I build with it. Like it's when you build it and then Webpack doesn't work, it takes longer.
Yeah.
JavaScript is very good at weeding out people who are not willing to learn new things. That's what it's built for. It's like, you're not willing to build new things? Well, there's no more jobs for you. Sorry.
And I think it's kind of terrifying for people who are starting out, just looking at like the frameworks that are out there.
So many options. Where do you begin?
But if anything,
it's the same thing as cloud. You just have to find the job that you want, and you find the technology that the jobs you want use.
Yeah, but I think I would also agree with Elf that if you know like the core JavaScript, I think it's easy to catch up on frameworks just going through documentation. I think, and this is to my understanding, is they all do the same thing. It's just that they do it differently, and some frameworks do it efficiently more than others.
All right, I have a question then, since you all are experts. Given my experience, and I don't need to find a job with JavaScript or web technologies in general, I just want to learn something to make a cute little app or something. What should I use?
React.
Okay, React. Risha, what should I use? What should I learn?
React or Next.
I mean, if you do Next, you need the React. Like it's either use like simple React, like create React app and only React, or you also learn Next on top of it, which adds all the stuff to React to do like more benefits.
Okay.
It's just a framework on top of React. React in itself is just a library that creates UI. It doesn't give you routing. It doesn't give you anything. It's just a library to create UI.
Okay. Like I bet if we got James Tucker in here, he'd say like Vue.
Vue. He would say Vue or Svelte. Vue or Svelte. I think like if I don't know if Adrian is in the chat still, he would say Svelte too.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, but the thing is that they mostly do the same thing. The reason why people like Svelte and the reason why Svelte is very good is that when like Vue, React, and like Angular, all of these ones, whenever you build an app, you're also building React code and you're sending it to the client. So actually, for React to work, they need the React library to, like, for example, to show a React app, you also need the code of React to on the client. So your website is a little bit more heavy, basically, to send, because you need to send React library as well as the code. Svelte basically compiles everything to just JavaScript, so you're sending just JavaScript and nothing, no npm packages, nothing. Just pure JavaScript, and it's faster. That's the only reason why Svelte, like the only reason. That's one of the reasons why Svelte is super fast and people like it. It's just vanilla JavaScript. It's a compiler to vanilla JavaScript, basically.
Yeah. See, if you're just getting started, all this stuff is just
scary.
Yeah.
It's scary as hell. Like, yeah.
But so many ways to know.
Yep.
None of them are wrong.
Yeah, none of them are bad. None of them are wrong. There are definitely ones that are like older. Like for example, LinkedIn, I think they use Ember. That is like it's a
Yeah.
pretty old framework by today's standard. But definitely there is nothing that is really bad. You just have to have like the understanding of the underlying structure of the language, because it has its quirks and similar.
Here's a good one. Favorite infrastructure as code tool.
Terraform.
I feel like there's not that many.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Worth-
yeah, I would say that the big ones are the cloud specific ones.
Yeah.
That is
Mhm.
like ARM, then like
CloudFormation.
AWS has thousands of them. So,
Yeah.
like AWS SAM as CloudFormation, CDK.
Yep.
Then there is Pulumi, for example. There's like Terraform. What's there left? There's a bunch of others, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a tough question.
Yeah.
I would have to pick Terraform just because we are considering all clouds, but then I would also love to stick with CloudFormation for AWS and then or ARM for Azure.
Yeah. I just use whatever
Mhm.
everyone else is using. I don't really have a favorite. I also don't have like a favorite cloud service. I don't know if y'all do.
I've like I feel like I myself use Terraform just because it's more like clear to me, like as a tool. Like there is less like like language specific syntax to learn in Terraform, like compared to like CloudFormation and others. So that's why I prefer like Terraform. But for service, like you mean as a cloud provider, or you mean as a
No, like a service
service
in
itself?
itself. And
Oh, I don't know.
like, what's a service that you just enjoy learning more about and doing more?
I mean, I
Even if
really
it's
like
for no purpose at work.
DynamoDB.
Okay, fair.
It's just like fun to work with DynamoDB because it's like so flexible for like everything I do. Like no matter what I'm doing, like DynamoDB most likely will solve the problem. At least for web stuff. Like if I have to do SQL related stuff, it's not gonna work. But like obviously, but like if I have to do like strict database stuff, it's not gonna work. But if it has to be like quick data stuff, like DynamoDB is easier.
You brought up SQL, and I was gonna ask, what's the least favorite thing that you've ever worked on? Because for me, it's SQL. I hate SQL.
I work with SQL
SQL,
every
whatever.
day, every single day, and I think like also we it's I mean you have to embrace it. I guess I don't embrace it yet, but it's whatever. I
That's
think
my
also
least favorite
Caroline
thing.
like does SQL like as an engineer. No?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Nope.
No SQL?
I do the document based databases.
Oh,
I like that
okay.
better.
Okay, then it's the like no,
I like Snowflake. I like the concept of
I
Snowflake.
work every day in Snowflake, so
But yeah, no.
No.
SQL is
Yeah,
just query languages are just weird to me. That's just something like I'd rather like get the data and then put it in code and then just process it in code than have to write a query. That's just my
don't
mind
know.
doesn't work as a query.
Yeah, I feel the other way.
You love
My
SQL?
exposure to SQL was when I was in help desk, and you like had to update databases like when you were on upper levels of the help desk. And still now, like I use SQL a lot just because our app that we have it's pretty dependent on SQL, and I don't mind it. It's okay.
What does
It's acceptable.
application insights use? What's the language called?
Custo.
Yeah,
I like
that's
Custo.
kind of
I
I
like
do
it.
too. Yeah,
wait, which one?
I think it's
Custo. Kusto.
yeah, Kusto.
It's
I
kind
have
of
no
a mix
idea.
between PowerShell and SQL.
Yeah,
It's interesting. I like it.
It's also very readable. Like it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. KQL.
Yeah.
I remember that. Besides that, I was just I don't know.
They also use that they use that everywhere now. Advanced Threat Protection, ATP, Microsoft ATP. They use that in there for advanced hunting. So it's pretty cool.
I didn't know that. My only exposure
Yeah.
to it is using it in what's it called? Application? No, what live?
Yeah, Application Insight.
What's
It's
the
also in
little
Data
tab?
Explorer.
So you go into like the monitor. I'm gonna open up the portal right now because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on like the like for me like my experience in SQL has been like because I have to like with most of like data science stuff like the largest amount of data is in like relation databases. At least in like our situation, so it's like a necessary evil, but I don't love it. Like I have like colleagues that swear by it. Obviously, like I feel like I it's just that there is a little bit too. I don't know. I feel like I just don't. It's not an enjoyable thing to do for me to just pull data to get like I pull data in that way, like in the SQL way. I feel like it's interesting to create some weird joins, but it gets boring very quickly. Like especially when you have like very normalized data sets that you have to only do joins, and the join logic is so it gets super complex. It's just not fun, which is why like it's better to have like GraphQL or something that becomes so much nicer to interact with.
Yeah, I come from a high energy physics background, so I did high energy physics research, and it's all in C++. So that's why that's how my data mine started being formed in C++ for large data sets. So I can't do anything else anymore. I have to write code.
C++
No queries.
was my first exposure to to computer science, really. So
C++.
I loved it. Yeah, loved it.
Mine
C++
was
is
Visual
amazing.
Basic.
I like it.
Which one was yours?
Oh, yeah.
Again?
Visual
Visual
Basic.
Basic.
Uh,
Yeah, for me it
no.
was VB script.
Ah.
VBScript. There's a bunch of like VBScript malware that are interesting. Like there is this series by John Hammond on YouTube that
Yeah.
is super worth watching. Like of him like basically going through malware code and understanding what the code does. Live, like unedited, uncut, and it's like super interesting to. And most of these are made in like VBScript and similar. Or like there are a lot of like disrupt.tv episodes on like big malware, and most of them are built in VBScript. And never learned it. I don't think I was into coding at the point where VBScript was the big thing.
You're lucky. All right.
Here's-
Anyway, we've been live for like an hour and a half. Feel like it's a good time to end it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We had a good amount of people in
Mhm.
the chat. I don't know if I'll do this weekly or not. It's kind of
I would be.
it's cool, but it's also like I don't know.
It's a huge commitment.
Yeah, I don't
and
like.
I think
I have issues with commitment.
yeah, for me it'll stay cool if it's not commitment.
Yeah, exactly. I like the casual. It's like, hey, let's
Yeah.
hop on now, or like and because then if it comes, it feels like work. If it's like you have to do this every single week, right?
Yeah.
And that's the joy of,
Yeah.
of doing stuff like this. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's it.
All right.
It was
Well,
a pleasure talking
bye,
to Paul,
everyone.
meeting all you.
Well, thanks everyone for hanging out.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right. Have a good night.